We have a free game that is going to destroy FIFA and EA with their market. This game is a benchmark on how football games should be like. And I repeat again, it is free to play. We are talking about UFL. If you have been following the UFL story since the last 2 years, you might know that UFL, a game developed by Strikers.inc, is going to be released this year. They released a 40-minute presentation on their channel, which I linked in the description that you can go watch. You won't believe on how good these cinematics look, man. I'm so impressed. We have to keep in mind that this game is going to compete against FIFA and PES, which have about 20 years of football development experience, but these guys are producing amazing results already. Look at these cutscenes they are showing in the start of the video. Look at the animation of the new Sui celebration they have. This is so smooth for a free-to-play game. And they explain in the video that they started making cutscenes for this game about 10 months ago, and they actually wrote scripts for each and every cutscene, so that every cutscene has a story of its own. They also show old cutscenes and the new cutscene and how much they have improved. I remember these old animations when they surfaced on the internet back then. Everybody was supposing that this is a mobile game, but these guys have stuck in and improved the quality over the months, and these cinematics that they're delivering now seems very good. Actually, it looks like a AAA game, to be honest. They explain in the video there are hundreds of cinematics in the same sequence for the same situation, but the programmer of the game makes sure that the game picks the best one for the story of the situation. They said realism is not perfection, so they want to create errors in the game, like cameramen losing track of the player, even colliding with the players on the pitch. This will create randomness inside the game that will result in the game being more realistic. To make their game realistic, they are trying to add out of blur shots in the game in the cinematics, trying to add wide angle shots, those imperfections that really make the game look imperfectly realistic, as they say, so that people really feel they're watching a real broadcast instead of a simulation inside their game. When asked about AI in the game, they're trying to balance between realism and arcade. They say that they know the balance between a real game and a simulation game that's played for fun. So they don't want to emulate each and every aspect of the football game and also keep the game fun at their end, which is something I guess FIFA lacks at this point, and they generally go for realism, pushing the boundaries, thus creating a game that is not that much fun to play. This is actually the fun part of them saying they sat down and saw each and every football match in the last 2 years to actually calculate how football players move, and they've tried to emulate the AI as if a player is thinking in his head what kind of decisions he has to make on things around him. So basically like FIFA's hypermotion technology, but a turned down version of it. They have sat down with every football manager they could actually approach, taking into account each football manager in real life can have multiple different play styles according to the match situation and the match requirement. So there are so many probabilities an AI of a football game can actually function that we don't realize. They have actually went into the market and done all the research with each and every football manager that's working with them, creating as many possibilities as the AI can function inside a game. All the final goal of this topic is to make sure the player who is actually playing the game has all the tools he requires to tactically fiddle with the team and create the precise movement he wants with his players. This is something that is quite close to FIFA's tactical menus, but I feel like these guys are doing a much better job because tactics inside FIFA have not been consistent since the past 2-3 years. They explain in the video that their animation staff consists of football players who play the game in the real life. So it's a very nice translation because people who play the game in real life know the inside and outsides of every piece of decision making that the AI has to take animation wise. Thus, who can actually play the game in real life can animate very well inside the game, thus creating a really authentic experience. The animation director explains in this video that we take a decision making process that we ask our AI animators that what would they do if players are standing here, and what would you do in this situation. Now since the person they are talking to has also played football in real life, that's the stuff they're going for, they exactly know what to do, and thus it creates a move that is very close to the real life game. If you check this skeleton they have showed in this video, the old skeleton is skeleton 2.0, which has such less bones inside the arms. When you check the skeleton 3.0, they have increased from 84 bones to 200 bones inside the video. They also show that their skeleton 3.0 has more bones when it comes to twist body, twist cloth, and even more bones to stabilize the player's movements. These increments were made due to the feedback, and you can see see how many muscle bones they are showing inside the video that actually improves the game from the feedback that people gave them online. You can see how much improvement they have shown inside the shoulders. The old shoulder model deforms in a very different way, while the new shoulder model has a better deformation overall because of the bones they have added inside the game. These new bones also help to move the shirts on the sides, and this helps in realism and better animation quality. You can notice how they have improved the scapula and the neck bones as well in the model, and this causes the model to improve the results overall in the final product. You can also see how this affects the legs as well. You can notice in the older model the legs never deform from the pelvis, but they actually deform from a way lower point. But in the newer model you can see how these rigs are behaving in a much more natural way, and it looks much better when used in a very abrupt manner. Even the most extreme movements look really good in the new model, which is nice to see. Look at this posture right here. They also show some shirt simulations when the bodies actually shift from side to side, so you can notice how this curvature has improved and how on the sides of the model they have improved the amount of curvature you can see in the game, whereas in the other one it does not exist. Later in the video they talk about how they are handling diversification with the player models. They explain that they had many models before inside the game, which was one bulky, one skinny, so and so, but now they have one single model that can be redesigned to be fit to each and every diversification model that they want. For example, if they want a really bulky guy who is like 6'7" or something, they can create that with the same model, or they can even create women models in the future, also scale them down to a model something like Lionel Messi. This one single model is what they're using to get all the power they need. Something they were struggling with is cloth simulation on the players, but they managed to fix it now. As you can see in these animations, the cloth simulation in this looks quite crisp. I feel like FIFA has an edge here, but these guys definitely take their time, and maybe in like over the years this thing will improve. Since it's a free to play game, we can always expect updates rather than yearly releases compared to FIFA. Lastly, wrapping up, they asked how is the skeleton doing and when it's going to be ready. They said these dribbling animations as you see in this video, and you can see some celebrations that they updated when they went from the old skeleton to the new skeletons, are creating some issues, but 80% of the skeleton, that is also 80% of this game, is ready. Personally, if you ask me, it's really good to see that there is a game now that can actually take on FIFA and PES. It has been so many years of FIFA completely ruling the football franchise market that PES couldn't actually keep up with it. Secondly, PES even went free to play in the last couple of years but couldn't really break the bank. Thirdly, they switched to eFootball, which didn't do anything to the market as well. So it's really nice to see that there are more and more options coming through. There's another game called Goals Game which is being developed inside Sweden right now, and if you want to check out more on the story about Goals Game, click on the video right here.